Hi Nishant, how are you?
Hi Nanya, good evening. I'm good. How are you?
I'm also fine. I am Ananya from MCMB Media, Ananya Jain. I'm currently a UG1 student at Flame
Okay.
University pursuing liberal arts. So, could you please introduce yourself a bit?
Okay. So मैं शायरी लिखता हूँ पर मैं खुद को शायर नहीं कहता but apart from that about I would say average pieces with which people are liking these days. That's all the love I'm getting from the audience. Apart from that, I am a software engineer working from past 6 years, and I'm a choreographer as well. I started dancing at the age of 6 or 7, so I have been doing wedding choreos, corporate shows, etc. And in October 2021, I started performing poetry. I have been writing from past 2 to 3 years, but never thought of performing. And then one day I just thought of giving it a try, and thankfully or fortunately I would say, I got good response from the audience, and since then their love has been motivating me to perform at different locations, different mics. So yeah, that's all.
Okay, so you said that you're a software engineer or you pursued software
Mm.
engineering at your time. So,
Yeah.
what made the shift for you? Like, what was the significant shift that made you choose dancing and poetry from software engineering?
Okay, so I am actually still working as software engineer, but so I have been dancing since age of 7, and it has been always around me, like in school, college, and after the college, I was taking regular dance classes for all age groups, because the thing is that there is something you do to feed your bank, and there is something you do to feed your soul, right? So dance and poetry have been the latter one. And poetry, basically, sometimes you go through some incidents in your life, and you have to vent out stuff. So कुछ कहानियां होती हैं जो लोगों को बतानी जरूरी होती हैं. So this is my way of letting it out. But as I said, that I really got good response, that love of people, and that motivated me to keep on going. And yeah, that's what I have been doing.
That is so great. I'm so like overwhelmed that you were able to find your both the paths because I have seen people who are either stuck in hobby making or who are either stuck in money making. So the way you have balanced out both the things in your life is a very great thing to do and a very difficult task to figure out in your life sometimes. And so, how did you connect to MCMB? If you wanna give a little background to us for that.
Yeah. So basically, I have been posting on Instagram. Actually explored MCMV's page. I think somewhere I found the post, and then they found me, and then they informed me about one of their virtual mics which was happening. And while after that, while exploring MCMV's page, I figured out that there was a show which they were conducting in Delhi on 2nd of Jan, and I was traveling there. So I simply connected with them and told them that, hey, I would like to perform on your live mic, like physically, instead of virtual one. So I would prefer that. So they were kind enough to let me perform there. So from there, we have I really got to know amazing people from NCMB. So yeah.
So from the team of MCMB, I can speak from the team of MCMB that we are very grateful to have you here. And we are so grateful that you pinged us
That's
up
an honor.
and you reached us out. So I would like to give a little brief on what exactly MCMB is. So basically, MCMB is a wing under Atraski that provides a global platform for all the blooming writers and stand-up comedians and to make them come out of their cocoon perhaps and project their self in front of the mass media. So
Hmm.
right now, MCMB is performing majorly in tier one and tier two cities like Delhi, Kolkata, Hyderabad, Mumbai, though it's a pan India organization. So
Yeah,
On the behalf of MCMB, we are very grateful to have you here. And I am
feelings are
sure all of
mutual.
us all of the people who would be watching this are grateful for that too. Okay, so
That's
Nishant is currently working in tier one and tier two cities and is a pan India organization. So, as you mentioned, Nishant, you write on heartbreaks and love and all the kind of relevant topics that revolve around that. So, I'm really impressed by the respect that on Valentine's Day, when everybody is talking about how you need to be in love or how is it appreciating love, you are somebody who is going out there and, taking like kind of like saving people from going down that dark alley, like who have already went there, and you are like, kind of having their feelings and understanding them. I think it's a very good thing to do. So would you mind giving our audience a gist of like one or two couple of your performances here?
Yeah, so I have just the right lines for you here. So where people are, I mean, obviously no hard feelings against the people who are in love and who are celebrating this day. But yeah, I would love to show the other side of the story. So I have few pieces which I have written for this Valentine's week, and since like today is Valentine's Day, I would start off with Valentine's Day itself. So they say, right, like as you also mentioned, that I will show people the other side of that lovey-dovey part. I instead of going to the dark side. So it goes like, so since it's Valentine's Day, तो क्या जो आज दिन है मोहब्बत का, right? So मोहब्बत का दिन is basically Valentine's Day, right? तो क्या जो आज दिन है मोहब्बत का, मैं तुम्हें धोखे का मायना बताऊंगा. तुम कहते हो इश्क खुदा है, रुको दोस्त, मैं तुम्हें आईना दिखाऊंगा. So basically showing them what it's doing to our generation, right? What exactly it is doing. Uh, not the nipa nippy wala pyar, basically the real love when you are really heartbroken. So that's the mirror I really want to show people out there. But yeah, I write a good part of love as well, but lately I have been writing the other side. So this was my Valentine's Day piece. Further in our discussion, we can go to all Rose Day, Promise Day. I have a piece for every day. You just mentioned it.
I think we'll get back to it in the further interview. So,
Yeah.
since you're a poet and you just described how you emerged as a dancer and as a choreographer, do you want to reflect on the journey how you became a poet? So, like, I want to ask you how you started your journey as a poet.
Yeah, so there is a really interesting small story behind it. So my mom has been writing since long back, and she wanted to publish her book as well, but she never did or never could. And while reading her stuff, I found out my love for Urdu, especially. So I never learned Urdu, and but I am really fascinated with the language and the words, the meanings, and the way they rhyme, right? So, using those words, I started writing for my friends, for other people as well, and I started collecting it as well. I made a page on Facebook, but it was never live. So eventually, when I figured that it is going really well, and I have a lot of stuff and I can perform now. I figured that okay, I can try to give it a chance, and even with my Instagram of following, basically the friends out there, I asked them that should I try open mics and all, and they all motivated me a lot. So, bas fair from there, for with the love of Urdu, love for Rekhta especially, I jumped into it. So yeah.
Okay, that's a very cute story. So also like since you're a poet about heartbreak and all the things, so like you're coming out on Valentine's and speaking about heartbreak, which is quite ironic, but important, of course. So, do you personally believe in love? Like, what is love according to you? How would you define that?
Uh, so we are talking about the elephant in the room. uh, it is as simple as, uh, a mother leaving a part of food for their children so that they don't sleep hungry. Love is as simple as that. And love is as complex as, you cry in your bed whole night and not letting the other person know how you felt because of them. And somewhere in between these two, and love is not just, I believe it is not just girlfriend boyfriend or husband wife. Love is there in every form. Your pet showing you love, your dog wagging his or her tail, and your parents showing their affection, your siblings. So love is there in all the forms, but कहीं एक complex और एक simple के बीच में कहीं कुछ इश्क है basically.
I think you have summarized it pretty well and took that elephant in the room like very nicely, handled very nicely. So I can conclude that you do believe in love, even if you think there's a dark side to it. You still believe that there's a good side as well.
Yeah, I do. I do. I will always.
Okay. So
But
why heartbreak? I mean, would you be like, are you comfortable in sharing if you ever had a heartbreak by yourself or something? There's like, what leads you to heartbreak? Like,
uh, heartbreak took me to therapies and counseling sessions. So yeah, I mean, I can summarize it in few lines that yeah, I have heartbroken by someone. I mean, there's nothing against, the people, or especially the people in your past. There is nothing against them. It is just that the love you had for them, right? It is your responsibility that, you should manage it so well that it doesn't lead into a major heartbreak, which especially I went through. But again, I was fortunate enough to have people around me to handle that, and eventually poetry came along for venting it out. But just the few months after the thing, when you thought that you won't be able to breathe without that person, uh, and you start loving yourself. So like there are a few lines which I've written on self love. So I started exploring self love, and I figured that, if you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody. And trust me, the self love part, there is a very fine line of difference between self love and selfish, right? You just try not to jump into the selfish one, but self love should always be there. So mm, there are few lines which I've written which I would like to recite that मौत जैसा सुकून कहाँ जिंदगी जैसी बेतरतीबी कहाँ बेतरतीबी means chaos. Okay, so मौत जैसा सुकून कहाँ जिंदगी जैसी, because life is a chaos, right? So जिंदगी जैसी बेतरतीबी कहाँ झूठे इश्क की रईसी तो बहुत मिल जाएगी, बेसिकली निब्बा निब्बी पार्ट, राइट? सो झूठे इश्क की रईसी तो बहुत मिल जाएगी, खुद से इश्क सी फकीरी कहाँ. So you should be, I would rather say the love, the self love, you should always explore. It takes you to greater heights and helps you grow as a person.
okay, so you reflected how you believe in love in different forms. But what are your views on a soulmate? I mean, soulmate as in a person, as a partner.
I had few, I had some views earlier, but at this point of time, I think I am my own soulmate, and I have been working on myself, loving myself, taking care of things I love, and uh, when you basically focus on yourself, right, you emit that love for others as well, instead of when you're just focusing on one single person, right, just one person, that you go madly deeply in love with them, the other people around you who actually deserve the other part of your love, they actually don't receive it from you. But when you just focus on yourself first, you emit different kind of love. So soulmate, I won't say that, I can comment on that as of now. But right now, yeah, it is something related to self love which I am exploring. But yeah, I have seen really beautiful love stories getting concluded and reaching the goal which they always expected. So जहाँ अच्छा है वहाँ बुरा भी है, जहाँ दिल का मिलना है वहाँ दिल का टूटना भी है. So there is always a balance.
Okay. And so, like, can you describe a perfect love, be it in any form, through your poetry?
Yeah, okay. Um, so when you meet a person who is beautiful in every form, just not physically, mentally, emotionally, the intellect they have, and the way they talk to you, the way they care for you, right? So उसमें सब cover हो जाता है. So just to mention, so I don't call myself शायर, okay? So so just using on the same lines, there are few lines which I can say that कुछ तो बात है उसकी अदाओं में जो रहती है वो मेरी दुआओं में, right? So there, like we always pray for the people we love, right? So कुछ तो बात है उसकी दुआओं में जो रहती है वो मेरी दुआओं में. किताबों में ढूंढ लेना तुम गुमशुदा मुझे, कहीं सच में ना शायर बन जाऊं. Yeah.
That is a very amazing piece, Nishant. Thank you so much for um, speaking out loud. So,
Thank you.
reflecting on the journey of you being a dancer, would you like to uh, tell the audience where do you choreograph, and how exactly, what exactly field are you in dancer in?
Okay, so there's another interesting story. I'll keep it short. So I was a kid who was told that you can never dance in by the dance teacher in my school when I was 6 years old, I guess. And it was like my mom was teacher in my own school, so dance teacher told her that he can never dance. So I heard it, took it on myself, and cried at home. But my mom and my sister, they motivated me, helped me, choreograph my first dance on this song "Chota Bachcha Jaan Ke Humko." So, and I mean, I don't know, the hard work, the motivation by family, and their hard work. The same teacher awarded me with first prize. The same teacher in same competition. So from there, I realized that I would love to explore dance as well. But I never learned. I never formally learned any dance form. But I'm into Bollywood, Bhangra, hip hop, Michael Jackson, and all. And I wanted to learn at a point of life, but there were other priorities at that point of time. So then I started taking classes, got few gigs in wedding choreos, did choreography for a Kannada dance reality show which got aired in like their region. So, and as of now, I'm not actually taking any classes or anything, but yeah, I mean, I would love to. So I just do the choreos for the songs which I like. I put it on my Instagram, and yeah, I just don't want to stop with dance and poetry as of now, or till then, till the time I can do it.
That's a very good motive to do, like a very good thing to do. You should not stop pursuing your hobby, I feel, ever. So, so in your conversation, you mentioned your mother a lot. Is there,
Yeah.
so what influence does your mother have in you? I mean, is there any part of hers that has pushed you in pursuing poetry or dancing in any way?
So I am a single parent child. I have been raised by mom, me and my sister. I have an elder sister. So we have been raised by our mom single-handedly, and she has done it pretty well. As like I can see me and my sister touch wood doing good in life, and the I would say the kind of things she has done and gone through, and situations she has faced and still came out shining, that actually keeps me motivating in tough situations. And she always told me that never let the artist in you die, even if, because firstly our parents, especially my generation parents, were doctor, engineer, ye ban jao fir jo karna kar lena. But she never said don't stop, stop dancing, focus on studies and all. She always motivated me for that. And even right now, like for poetry, she is the one. I still remember this particular line. I told my mom that someday I will get old and I won't be able to dance. So she was like, भगवान एक दरवाजा बंद करता है तो दूसरा खोल देता है, and poetry was that darwaza for me. So yeah, she has a major influence, and what I am today is because of her and the sacrifices she has done for me. Yeah.
So, besides your mother, what are your major inspirations for writing poetry?
Mm. I would say Mirza Ghalib, obviously, Faiz Ahmad Faiz. ये तो like these are like OG shayars, right? The
Yeah, the
originals,
classics.
the classics, right? And apart from that, like everybody knows Zakir Khan as well, right? As a stand-up comic. But I follow his shairi a lot. Poetry. I prefer his poetry over his stand-up. He's brilliant at both of them. But yeah, Zakir Khan. And like apart from that, I'll tell you, Ananya, I try not to read other people's shairi. I'll tell you why. Because I feel somewhere it, influences your writing as well. I mean, it is different for every person, obviously. But for me, I think when you don't read, it comes like thoda originality zyada rehta hai. So yeah, but these are the major three people which I follow.
So, you just mentioned that you don't prefer reading different artists' poetries and shairis. So, I'm sure as an artist, I mean, I am also a poet by myself. So, there are certain times when you would have a writer's block, or you are just not able be in the space of mind where you can think of any words or any ways to convey that. And like personally, I prefer listening to other poets. So I wanted to ask, what are your other ways to combat that writer's block?
Fortunately, I've not experienced that as of now. I know there is something like writer's block that exists. And again, fortunately, again, I would say I've never, planned on writing anything. Like I never just said कि अच्छा अभी मुझे लिखना है. I never do that. I've never done that because like I've just started. That is one. I have like content from past around 2 years. So मुझे specially लिखने बैठना नहीं पड़ा. But whenever I'm driving or I mean, like I'm eating any like from a small task or you're having your meal to a big task of driving. It's if something hits you that like the self love, the poetry which I just said, like betartibi, I read somewhere ki betartibi means chaos, right? So it just came to my mind that like death is sukoon and life is a chaos. So I should write something around that. So I just noted down in my notepad. I have around 300 notes right now. So I just write it down and then build over it. But fortunately, I have not experienced writer's block as of now. Yeah.
Okay. So, since today is Valentine's Day, I would like to ask, what are your plans on Valentine's Day?
Uh, okay. So my Valentine is going to be my sister's daughter. She's like 2 years old and she is love of my life. She's really cute. So maybe mostly I'll be planning to meet her, visit her, take her out. So yeah, she's my Valentine, and obviously my Valentine is going to be way cuter than anybody else's Valentine.
I agree on that. I wouldn't deny it. So, there are a lot of young people watching this video right now, a lot of young people who are engaged with MCMB media content. What is your piece of advice for them who are either going through a breakup or in a toxic relationship?
Oh, okay. Like when you said piece of advice, I was going to say, see, I don't think I'm at that place to give advice. But when it comes to toxic relation or broken heart, I can advise. Uh, I would say take your time. and I was not talking to anybody during that time. So, spend some time with yourself. Spend a lot of time actually with yourself. Figure out things that you like and do it like 10x. Like keep on doing it, keep on doing it, and just don't stop. And there will be a day when it will stop bothering you, right? And you will realize that you are going to explode. I mean, in a positive way. क्या फोड़ने वाले हो इस चीज को? Whatever you are doing, your hobby, your career, and the people who are around you, you will realize that the part of love you were giving someone who was not who with whom you were not meant to be, right? So you can give that part of love to people who really care about you, like your parents, your mother, your father, your siblings, your friends, anybody. And eventually just don't go to the I mean, you don't put yourself into toxic side, like basically substance abuse and all, which is quite common these days. The alcohol and drugs and all, कूल लगता है, नो बहुत कूल लगता है एक टाइम तक, बट ट्रस्ट मी, जो नशा खुद को बिल्ड करने में है, वो नशा, द एडिक्शन ऑफ ग्रोथ, देर इज नो मैच टू दैट, देर इज नो मैच. इट गिव्स मी adrenaline rush when I'm on the stage and I'm performing, and I see people appreciating. वो rush you are never going to get from anything else, the things you achieve in your life. So just focus on that, give it time, don't rush into anything. ना ही ये एक दिन में ठीक होने वाला है और ना ही एक दिन में आप ग्रो करने वाले हो. So give it time, and things will fall into place.
Okay, that was a really good piece of advice, Nishant. Okay, so with that, do you have another piece of advice for all the budding writers out there who are like trying to struggling with all their work and the all the breed of poets?
Piece of advice. I myself, I feel I'm just an average writer, but um, just find out what the genre you like to write in or write for. It will be heartbreak for me, which people are liking as well. So just build on that, and don't think कि ये अच्छा है, ये बुरा है. Sometimes with me it has happened, the piece which I thought is really amazing turned out to be not very great, and the piece which I thought is not very great turned out to be amazing. So just try everything out. Don't question your talent or your art, right? And yeah, just keep on doing it, keep on writing.
Okay, so with that, can you present us with a piece? One that did not go very well. Second, that went very well. That was the best one for you.
uh, that did not go very well. Actually, uh, that went very well. Let me tell you that one first, right? So after the heartbreak, I say it on mics and I say it open out loud that सबसे बिकाऊ चीज मोहब्बत होती है, सबसे बिकाऊ चीज. And so when this happens, I mean, I'm not actually pointing anybody, but yeah, love is that for some people. Um, so with that, uh, so I used to write. Basically, I used to write my poetry for someone, right? So building on that, basically the lines will be, वो शायरी सी मेरी कलम से निकलती रही, मैं शायर सा उसे लिखता चला गया. Right? So you write poetry for someone. So वो शायरी सी मेरी कलम से निकलती रही, मैं शायर सा उसे लिखता चला गया, वो जज्बातों को मेरे खर्च करती रही, मैं मोहब्बत सा उस पर बिकता चला गया. So yeah, that is one of the part which did really well, and I really don't remember the one which didn't do well because I realized, okay, I won't use it again. So yeah.
That's absolutely okay. I understand. So, with that, would you like to present any piece of yours that's the closest to your heart?
Hmm. Actually, all of them are closest to my heart. But I have written few pieces recently, which I think for which I got really good response. So recently there was Proposed Day, right? And basically क्या होता है ना, the nibba nibbi love and all. So it is, I mean, it is not love, right? It is not love. And दिल तोड़वाओ तो एक अलग आर्ट निकल के आती है. So obviously proposed day पर you know that intentions, everybody has separate intentions. So building on that, basically I wrote few lines for proposed day. ऐसे हारे हम जिंदगी के सफर में कि अब मोहब्बत से तौबा करेंगे. ओके. सो ऐसे हारे हम जिंदगी के सफर में कि अब मोहब्बत से तौबा करेंगे. फिर से आ गया है दिन इजहार इश्क का, लोग फिर इश्क के नाम पर जिस्म का सौदा करेंगे.
Okay, so that was one piece that was closest to your heart.
Yeah, I can recite another one which is quite closest to me. Um, yeah, so this one actually motivated. So when I was in that phase, I was totally into motivational songs, raps, and all. I didn't let myself, into the dark path, basically. All time motivational songs, motivational quotes, motivational speakers, and everything. So, for that reason, I wrote something. ढल गया वो गुलिस्तां कि उजड़े बाग का फिर से खिलना जरूरी था. Right? When you break apart, you have to grow out of it.